Hello, Sawtooth Rabbit here. Or if we want to be boring, then just Maddie will suffice. Today, I want to take you on a journey from the early days of the Hazbin Hotel pilot all the way through season 1 of the Amazon series. And by the end of this journey, my hope is that you too will come to the conclusion that Sir Pentious should in fact be known as Sir Precious. Now, without further ado, let's get rolling. So now, starting off with the pilot of Hazbin Hotel, we meet Mr. Sir Pentious. He is your typical run-of-the-mill, mustache-twirling, mwahaha, I'm going to tie you to the railroad tracks type villain. And we're here for that. You know, he's goofy, he's fun. He's a silly goose, if you will. And when I think about this introduction, I guess some context that is important is that he is trying to use his steampunk war machine to take over hell. Yeah. With the help of his minions, the Egg Boys. We as a collective must remember the Egg Boys because they will be playing a very important part in why Sir Pentious should be deemed Sir Precious. I also was looking on the Wikipedia page for him, and someone in the comments dubbed him Steampunk Danger Noodle. And I thought that really fit, so. Now, my first shred of evidence that Sir Pentious deserves to have sweet baby boy snake points allotted to him to lay the ground scene. He is in a turf war with Angel Dust and Cherry. And in this altercation, he manages to wrap Angel in some sort of chain type.
You know what? I'm just going to reference it because I don't know what I'm talking about.
I found it. In the pilot, Angel gets slammed to the ground by Mr. Sir Precious. And of course, Angel makes a charged taunt toward Sir Pentious, to which he responds, "Son!" So, needless to say, I am sure there are other noodle points to award Mr. Sir Precious in the pilot. And definitely comment down your noodle points that you believe Baby Snake Boy deserves, because I am sure I will miss some. But also, sidebar, the pilot is fun and fresh because we also get to meet Miss Cherry, and it establishes their connection as rivals, enemies to lovers, if you will. I am a huge proponent of enemies to lovers. So anything with that dynamic, I eat that for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. In conclusion, where we leave off with the pilot is that Sir Pentious is essentially a mustache-twirling, stock villain, silly, goofy, doofenshmirtz, thank you, esque man, snake, demon, sweet baby boy. And that is where we start this journey. That is his, as far as we know, his origin. So, beginning with the Amazon series, we have episode 1, in which Sir Precious, sweet baby snake boy demon, does not make an appearance. So we're just gonna move on from that. However, it is in episode 2 where sweet baby snake noodle is introduced. And he really does come into the scene full steampunk war machine, guns blazing, in the exact fashion that you would expect from him following the pilot of the series. But what I want to dive into when it comes to Mr. Sweet Baby Boy, Sir Penthouse's characterization are some established dynamics happening between him and characters in the series that we discover in episode 2. Episode 2 sheds light on the V's. Now, the V's play an important role in Sir Pentious's character arc and ultimate redemption. I got there. Don't worry. The way I see it, Sir Pentious, Sweet Baby Boy, just wants to be acknowledged and recognized and respected amongst his fellow denizens of hell. With that desire to be acknowledged comes the V's. Now, to me, the way I interpret it, in terms of the overlords in this part of hell, the V's are like the cool kids club, at least to Sir Pentious. They're kind of like the new kids on the block, you know, the in crowd, if you will. And so Sir Pentious, he wants to get in good with the cool kids club. Sir Pentious wants to get in good with Vox, Valentino, and Velvet so that perhaps he can be recognized for his prowess and, you know, maybe gain some clout from being affiliated with them. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments. Vox, now this is important. Vox, Mr. TV bad boy Prince over here, Mr. Flat Screen Head that I did not think that I would simp for. I say that with 45% irony, okay? Now, Mr. TV boy Prince, Mr. Vox, has an active, ongoing, and almost kind of one-sided beef with Alistair, the radio demon, everybody's favorite cannibalistic deer. So, knowing what we know now, that Sir Precious wants to get in good with the Cool Kids Club Vox, but the Cool Kids Club, aka kind of just Vox, out of the 3 V's, has a beef with Alistair. That brings Sir Pentious straight to the doors of the Hazbin Hotel, where he plans and fails to execute a full-on attack on Alistair in an attempt to be in Vox's good graces. This is also one of those character moments that is so silly, goofy, but also like, aw, where Alistair is like, who are you? And then Sir Pentious is like, we've done battle like 20 times. Obviously, it cuts deep that Sir Penthouse is not a very memorable adversary. So, needless to say, Mr. Sexy Cannibal Demon Deer Boy Man beats Baby Snake Boy with extreme ease. This is the catalyst that puts Sir Penthouse unintentionally on the path to redemption. So, following through the rest of episode 2, obviously Sir Penthouse flees the scene. However, the V's now know that the radio demon is back in town after a 7-year absence. And we also got the absolute banger that was the song Stayed Gone. Vox wants to spy on Charlie Morningstar, the founder of the hotel, and Alistair, basically to size them up, see what they're getting into. So he wants an inside man. The V's then ultimately decide to enlist Sir Precious to be their mole, their inside man in the Hazbin Hotel. And because of this, we get the absolutely adorable scene where he is still pretending, but I feel like it does give him a noodle point where him and Angel Dust, Precious Spider Demon Boy, who I absolutely love, he too is one of my absolute favorite characters, where they act in a play. And the play is so funny. We also get that iconic scene where Charlie is like, "My name is Charlie. I like to sing.
My name's the pentious. I like to build
And despite my stupid egg voice, I think I'm rather skilled." I think that scene is so freaking cute because he's obviously like still like, ooh, villain, like I'm undercover. Yet him playing and actually like putting effort into Charlie's game just tickles my heart. It just warms me up on the inside. Because then you have Angel, who is like an actual hotel guest, and he's like, "This is stupid."
This is stupid.
Another moment that I think is incredibly noodle, sweet baby boy point worthy is when Sir Pentious is acting in the play, and he's like, "I have to go home and study."
I have to go home and study.
Look like a kid who could use some devil's dandruff.
Who, me?
And to close out episode 2, we see Mr. Sir Penthouse try to put a secret video camera in a bookshelf, to which our baby boy Angel catches him. And obviously Angel is like kind of feeling a little jealous because Charlie's pouring all of her attention, seemingly, into Mr. Sir Precious instead of him. So he definitely is kind of like, not vibing with Mr. Sir Penthouse. So, needless to say, Angel catches him, and then Mr. Sir Prentious, Mr. Sir Prentious? Mr. Sir Pentious is caught and panics, and then basically attempts to plead with Vox and the other V's to evacuate him out of the Hazbin Hotel. To which Vox, which honestly, I love Vox as a character, but I'm like, oof, moments like these, I'm like, you're such a, like, good, like, jerk villain. Where he basically, when Sir Pentious was like, "Save me, like, I need to be, like, taken out of here," he was like, "You were caught? It hasn't even been a day."
You were caught? It hasn't even been a day.
And then he also says some less nice stuff to Mr. Sir Precious, to which he kind of just lays down and gives up. Kind of like an old dog that like goes to the woods to like die. It's so sad. Or like when a horse isn't able to stand up anymore. Okay, that's sad. But he kind of just calls it quits. He fully gives up.
Just make it quick, I guess. Not that I deserve.
And at this point, Vaggie and Angel want to kind of just like, like, bye, So I also thought it was a memorable moment. So when he's on the ground and is obviously like, pity party hour, Miss Charlie Morningstar decides to stick to her branding for the Hazbin Hotel and give Mr. Sir Precious a second chance. And then they have the super adorable song where it starts with "Sorry," which is incredibly cute. And now, continuing on to episode 3, Mr. Sir Penthouse is now an official guest of the Hazbin Hotel. And as he is settling in, there are some obvious tensions amongst the other inhabitants of the hotel with Mr. Serpentious. He too is not trusting.
I can sense they are planning to kill me, but when? How?
He's still trying to build his war machines, you know, steampunk danger noodle vibes. But the big thing that I want to highlight in episode 3 that I feel gives him Sweet Baby Snake points is his actual genuine affection for his egg boys. It's so cute. My first shred of evidence to exhibit that Serpentious is in fact Sir Precious is when they do their group therapy session, and instead of Angel, who obviously does not take the whole thing seriously, Mr. Serpenthouse actually opens up and confesses that he actually does not want to live without his egg boys.
I don't want to live without my minions.
And then he's like, nobody catch me.
Nobody catch me.
Let me know in the comments what you think, but is that him acknowledging that he knows he has made mistakes in the past and is trying to make up for them? But yeah, anyways, let me know what you think. But needless to say, the group therapy session, very adorable. A great peek behind the curtain of Mr. Sir Precious's warm and fluffy heart. And then another scene at the end when Vaggie does finally relent and give Sir Penthouse his egg boys back.
My eggs, yeah.
And they go to bed and he like cuddles up with one.
Time for sleep. Good night, eggies.
And they all go to bed together. And I'm like, that is so cute. My whole heart. Sir Precious. Sir Precious. Now, moving on to episode 4. Episode 4 is Angel's episode, Masquerade. Honestly, it is one of my favorite episodes. I cried like an absolute baby. Oh my goodness. But because the focus leans so heavily on Angel, with good reason, it was very, very compelling, very tragic. We do not see Mr. Sir Precious all that much in episode 4. So we're gonna move on to episode 5. Gotta hide my double chin. So episode 5 gifts us with the absolute chaotic mayhem that is Alistair and Lucifer's dad battle over Charlie.
It's a little funny. You could almost call me Dad.
It's so funny and it's so good. And I'm sure all of us want Alistair to be our dad. I want my dad to be a cannibalistic deer who speaks in a transatlantic accent over the radio. Anyways, back on topic, the dad battle. Now, this episode explores Charlie's rocky dynamic with her dad, Lucifer, the king of hell. King of hell. And so Alistair and Lucifer kind of take center stage here. However, one thing I want to note that I believe Sir Precious gets Sweet Baby Boy noodle points is when Lucifer and Alistair are arguing. I'm going to insert the clip if I can find it. His face in the background is just straight up panic. He's like bugging, like his eye. It's like the opposite of his like sweet little sad eyes. It's like, which I think is so cute and funny, just watching him witness Alistair and Lucifer duking it out. It's so funny and so like in character for him. It is exactly how I would expect him to act when he's in a room with two incredibly powerful people who are actively beefing. And then after Charlie and Lucifer have a heart-to-heart with the song. Is it in the end? Wait, hold on. I wrote it down. This is important. This is really important. Let me see. Episode. More than anything. Okay. So after another sweet baby boy star goes to Sir Penthouse, because after that song and, you know, Lucifer and Charlie's heart to heart, he's like, "Oh, that was sweet." It was so cute. So, yeah, another point for Sir Penthouse from episode 5. Now, moving on to episode 6. This is the episode where Vaggie and Charlie go to have a court hearing in heaven. Bye! And while this court hearing is happening in heaven, Cherry is essentially bribed to take all of the hotel guests out for a night on the town. She originally only came to the hotel to cheer up Angel, which I think their friendship is cute. Obviously, it is not perfect, but I feel like it's really realistic. Like, you think about how you have certain seasons of your life where you're doing certain things, and it's the friends you make during those seasons, and then you change, and it's obviously like that dynamic shifts. But I feel like Cherry and Angel is a very real and healthy representation of that shift playing out, where obviously Angel isn't as much of a party animal as he was previously, and Cherry doesn't have big plans to change her ways, yet she respects it, but is still kind of will stay in her lane. Let me know what y'all think, because I thought it was portrayed pretty accurately to how some friendships are, or in like kind of like one of those best case scenarios. But the first noodle point that I want to award Mr. Sir Precious in this episode is just how adorable he is when Cherry re-enters the group chat. Honestly, we really haven't seen her pretty much all season.
Well, if it isn't my arch nemesis.
And then she just kind of makes this like big splash in episode 6. But I feel like I'm wondering if the writers went into this with the hope that everyone had viewed the pilot episode beforehand, which honestly, I didn't. I'm such a new fan to like Hazbin. Like, I literally learned about the series 3 weeks ago and then just got like immediately hyper fixated. And then it became like a comfort show that I kind of just like literally watch like over and over again. Like, I'll just like have it playing. Tell me you're not okay without telling me you're not okay. So, needless to say, I think that he gets a sweet baby star point for when he and Cherry have a confrontation again, and he kind of like falls back on his old like Doofenshmirtz mustache twirling villainy.
Have you come to meet your fate in battle, Cherry Bomb?
Only for her to be like, yeah, I guess I have to take your sorry.
Apparently. I'm going out with Angel and I gotta drag your sorry along.
And then he immediately reverts to this like crush-addled boy, and it's the cutest thing. Like,
I didn't think this would ever happen. What do I do? What do I wear?
it's adorable. I love it. And I do wish that we got to kind of experience more of a build-up. Maybe if Cherry had been introduced sooner, or even if like she didn't even have to fully like make an appearance, but like it could have been really cute if Angel had mentioned Cherry, and even just little nods where like Sir Penthouse just like perks up. Like, that could have been so cute. Needless to say, that gives him a special star point because you can kind of read everything he's feeling, and I feel like that's what makes him kind of like such a lovable character, because he's so like silly and comedic, but like also so sweet-natured, and you can just see it. So then we see all of the hotel occupants go for a fun night on the town. And this is where we get the ever adorable and iconic and hilarious scene where Sir Precious keeps trying to make a move on Miss Cherry and keeps chickening out. And it's so funny to watch. Like the, Cherry, I got you a shot.
Because I bought everyone another shot! Hooray!
Oh god, that just tickles me. It's so funny. I do want to say though, in this episode, I am not too crazy how they use essay as a punchline. Even if the scene as a whole, I believe, is rather funny and lighthearted, I'm like, I'm not crazy about that. I'm like, adult animations, and I'm not an expert by any means, but I can see that this series has it's often like a fine line to walk when you're balancing like dark humor and serious topics. So when it switches and flip-flops, I feel like I was, as a viewer, personally jarred. I'm not saying it's a bad episode. I really like episode 6, but that's my one complaint, I would say. Moving on to a less serious note. Overall, the episode is very adorable, and we do see Sir Penthouse just striking out time and time again. And then it's also really cute when like they're all like getting more and more like inebriated, and he's like, "It's so nice to have friends."
To have friends!
So now we have episode 7. And then another thing I want to note, because I guess the biggest plot points of this episode is Charlie and Vaggie kind of trying to figure out how to defeat the angels. So Charlie goes to Cannibal Town, Vaggie goes and sees Carmilla. But 1 minute in, Sir Sweet Baby Boy Snake Demon gets a noodle point because I thought it was so adorable how Kiki crawled on his lap and he was petting Kiki. It was adorable, even though I did read somewhere that was actually foreshadowing for the events of episode 8. So when Vaggie leaves to go and like figure out how to kill angels by Carmilla, her and Charlie go and divide and conquer, is when she's like, guys, I don't think I can protect you. Like, I wouldn't be I wouldn't take it personally if you all left. Like, you didn't sign up to be absolutely annihilated by the angels. So yeah, and then basically though the episode happens, and then we come back and they're like fortifying the hotel, and then there's a really cute moment where Angel does kind of like shrugs his arms over Husk and Sir Pentious, and basically just saying like that they stayed and that they're a team, and I'm like, that's so sweet. It just like hits me right in the power of friendship. And so moving on to episode 8, right from the get-go, Sweet Baby Boy gets a noodle point because we see on Vox's surveillance cameras that he is caught saying, "Teamwork makes the dream work." And it's so cute. It's adorable. Clearly he has taken it upon himself to be fully battle ready. About 4 minutes and 20 seconds into the episode, we get this absolutely adorable scene between him and Miss Cherry Bomb.
Yeah, I want to tell you that I love...
Honestly, it's just so sweet and cute to see him obviously still struggling with completely confessing his feelings for her.
I'd love to wish you good luck in the battle ahead.
Okay.
But showing like genuine admiration and like complimenting her on her prowess.
Worthy opponent with the most brilliant, explosive contraption.
I'm like, you're such a good... It's so sweet. He is such a sweet baby boy. Noodle point for him. And then also the absolute hilarity of him being like, anyways, blushing, and then, "Please don't die tomorrow. Okay, bye." And then just runs away.
Please don't die tomorrow, okay, bye!
That is so on brand for Sir Precious. So Sir Pentious sees that his friends are not doing well and that the battle is not in their favor. So what does he do? He decides to finally buck up the courage and confess his love to Cherry in the most dramatic, romantic way. Hits me right in the YA fantasy feels before he heroically departs to try to stop Adam himself.
In mind?
Yes!
The absolute cinematic drama. And the fact that like he finally has like this moment of bravery and like gusto, and then he like obviously like flees quickly because, you know, that's on brand for Mr. Pentious. But then Cherry's like, damn, that was kind of hot.
I love you! Remember me!
That was kind of...
I'm like, bro, I'm like, she's finally getting it. I'm like, gosh darn it, because he literally gets turned to dust not 30 seconds later, which is an absolute travesty. However, all of these events eventually lead up to Sir Pentious being redeemed and being reborn in heaven. Like, when I saw that at the end, when I literally say I was like, jaw dropped. Like, I was alone in my living room, jaw dropped. I don't know why I didn't see that coming. And then, like, Emily's face was so priceless. And then Sarah's was like, and Emily's was like,
Where am I? Oh. Hello?
oh gosh, if we don't get like a subplot of Emily and Sir Pentious in heaven or something next season, I'm gonna be so upset. That's my one bummer, is that he won't be as main of a character, I don't think. Who knows? We'll see. What can we expect from Sir Penthouse in season 2 of Hazbin Hotel? And now, after all of these findings, after this journey we went on together, I want to impart to you my concluding statement. By the end of season 1, even heaven and the powers that be considered Sir Pentious to be Sir Precious. Thank you. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in, for going on this journey with me. I absolutely love Sir Pentious as a character, and so I really wanted to film this. Did I expect it to be a podcast? Not really, but here we are, and you know what? I'm okay with it. If you would like to follow me on my other social media, it is Sawtooth Rabbit. I will have it linked down below. And if you liked this video and you also like my Hazbin Hotel content, the reaction videos, and all the other absolute shenanigans, please consider subscribing and turning on your bell notifications so that you know whenever I post. Thanks again for watching, and I do truly hope, heart to heart, that you too consider this steampunk danger noodle to be Sir Precious. Okay, bye.